Hey guys, Nick here. Today we're going to talk about ground builds, and specifically we're going to talk about engineering ground builds. So, guys, this is mine. It's a Jemadar Vanguard. That doesn't really matter for the build. It is, I will say, it is the best ground race you could be running. So, say you want to push the numbers, Jemadar Vanguard is the best race to run for ground. But you can run this build on any race you want to. If you want to be Fed, you want to be if you want to be human, you want to be Vulcan, you want to be Romulan, you want to be Klingon. That doesn't matter. You can run on whatever. So, as we all know, certain races have certain race traits that are some are better than others for certain things. For ground combat, Jemadar Vanguard is the number one. So a quick run over the build and I'll demonstrate. So it's for what I'm currently running for the day-to-day combat and TFOs I run with this character. I'm running Causal Entanglement, I'm running Chronoton Mind Barrier, Cloaked Mind Barrier, Agony Field Generator, Bowel Obelisk Network, and Anchor of Grethor. For my kit frame, I'm running the Delta Expedition Engineering kit frame. I'm running Burnham's Armor and Burnham's EV, Nakul Shield, Nakul Weapon for the two-piece, and the Shax Cannon, the portable phaser cannon. I'll go back over it in a minute, guys. I just want to do a quick run over the build. Traits are Bombardier, Shadow of the Black Mountain, Technophile, Field Technician, Hive Mind, Viscous, I don't know how to pronounce that one properly, Serenity, Space Explorer is a great gig, Terran Vision, and Adrenal Release. There is a few modifications I would make for your day-to-day content. If you don't have some of these, you can run upgraded gear, which I'd say maybe instead of Technophile, well, Technophile is good every 8 seconds, but you could say instead of Adrenal Release, I would run upgraded gear. Maybe upgraded gear, and say you don't want to use large kit over boosters for your cooldown reduction, I'd run Gone Before Security Arrives. It's fairly cheap on the exchange, which is nice. So basically, when you exit combat, you get 20% run speed and recharge to kit modules and capped abilities for 20 seconds or until combat starts. So basically, it's cooldown reduction on your kit modules when you come out of combat, so you can get them back quicker and you use them again. I'll just do a quick demonstration on this build. So you can see I'm going to turn my weapons off. My bridge officers are standing over there, so they're not helping me. So it's Anchor of Grethor, which pulls everything together. We drop mines at their feet, and everything's going to die. Guys, this is on Elite. See here, Elite. I don't think there's another way of showing you it's on Elite. Or you can come over here, Patrols, Elite difficulty, guys. So, this build is potent. Even without running, like, my bridge officers to help me. I'll do it again here. We're going to drop it at our feet. We're going to debuff, and we're going to press our mines. And I can walk away, and everything's just going to die. I don't even need to be hitting Agony Field. So, I'll show my, there's other options too. Like, I can keep showing you guys. We can come over here. We drop our Anchor of Grethor. We drop our mines. And once the mines go off, there. Oh, see, now, maybe because I didn't have the second mine, we'll drop our Agony Field. We can fire a weapon, but I'm not in any danger. And just everything's dying really without any drama. And this is on Elite, guys. This build really does rock. So, alright, so I'm gonna jump out. I'm just thinking that was a quick demonstration on the build. Anchor of Grethor, pulling everything in together, dropping debuff at our feet, and then we drop our mines, and then Agony Field and Bowel Obelisk is there basically as cleanup. So I'm gonna jump out. Okay, guys, back. I may or may not have just butchered the discussion of this build, so I'm just gonna restart. I'll completely own up to it. I was saying things twice, and it was just not pretty. So I thought, let's start from scratch, and we'll say it again because, it's gonna take me too long to piece it all together, and I'd rather just come chat again. So, guys, today's build is my engineer. The kit modules is causal entanglement, our Chronoton Mine Barrier, our Cloak Mine Barrier, our Agony Field, our Bubble Obelisk, and our Anchor of Grethor. So I know I mentioned it before, but let's just go over where everything comes from, our alternates after, and just say why everything's used. So our causal entanglement comes from the Dillstall, our temporal operative tab, and our little option here right at the top. So right at the top, fourth option, temporal operative kit module, causal entanglement, number 4. But it's to be noted, guys, you can only buy this if you have 27 points in temporal operative specialization. So what I mean by that is we come to our specialization tab, our temporal operative, and if you have current points in temporal operative less than 27, you can't buy the best version of causal entanglement. Okay. Chronoton Mine Barrier is a crafted kit module, so we'd come over here to our R&D, to our kit modules, to our item kit module engineering. We come to here and we come to our little drop down menu here, Chronoton Mine Barrier, and you craft it on whatever level you feel comfortable, and then at some point upgrade it all the way to Epic Mark 15. Ultra Rare Mark 15. Next up is our Cloaked Mine Barrier. We create, so same as before, these both create barriers, 5 mine barriers that last 60 seconds, that will arm after 4, that do a certain amount of damage to things within 3 immediate radius. But the cough, the Cloaked Mine Barrier comes from the Gamma Task Force. Scroll down, our Requisition Engineering Kit Module, Cloaked Mine Barrier, little prick picture here. Our Agony Field Generator and our Bowel Obelisk both come from our Infinity Lockbox, or the original. They come from their original lockbox, but now they come from Infinity. We have our Bowel Obelisk network, 35 million. That's a little pricey for a kit module, but it is probably one of the best one in the game. And we have our Agony Field Generator, which is about 23 million currently at the recording of this video, which is still a little pricey, but then again, it's still one of the best kit modules in the game across all build types, and I'm pretty sure they are account bound. Yes, they are. So guys, if you're on a bit more of a budget, it's to be noted, you see here, these items are account bound. So say you want to move them from your side to your attack to your engineering, you can. So there's no need to have more than one of these if you really don't want to. And the last kit module on the main build is Anchor of Grethor. So guys, Anchor of Grethor is a winter event kit module. So we come down to our event store, our winter event tab, and we'll use our little search button because it's a bit easier. We're going to type in Anchor of Grethor, or Anchor, and we come here to the top option, guys. If you typed in Anchor, Engineering Kit Module, Anchor of Grethor. It's to be noted, guys, there are the training manuals here below. So if you do want to train your bridge officers in Anchor of Grethor, you can do so. I have, because it's probably one of the best abilities in the game for your bridge officers to use, that alongside Paradox Bomb, because if you're doing story missions, it just groups everything together for you, and then it just basically takes it away from you having to do it. Okay, guys, before I move on from kit and modules, I'm going to talk about our alternates. So our alternate to Anchor of Grethor, say you just for some reason you just don't have any winter ornaments, you can use Paradox Bomb. It's a slightly longer radius pull, but it's not quite as quick, and it doesn't do quite the initial damage. It does a little hit at the end, because it's called Bomb, so it pulls everything and then just goes boom. But it's the goal of Anchor of Grethor was to pull everything in, so Paradox Bomb does that quite nicely. Say you want a little bit more defensiveness, I would recommend these two kit frames, so the Photonic Barrier Generator and the Nanite Medical Generator. One is from 8472. Our Nanite Medical Generator. And I butchered this last time, guys. But same again. I think this one wasn't Delta. Iconian. Here we go, guys. So our second one is a photonic barrier generator from the Iconian rep. Our first one is the 8472 and the nanite medical generator is our options for if you want to maybe drop the causal entanglement and maybe the bowel obelisk or the agony field. I would then run the generators because they basically would make you invulnerable. If anyone's done colony sims, you would know that basically the go-to build is for an engineer is to run these two generators to make sure that the colony sim, I think it's the turrets or the shields, stay up because these heal them up. Another alternate for Anchor of Grethor is Gravitational Juncture. It's not quite a biggest range, but you create a 4.5 meter bubble, and everything in that radius gets sucked into 1 point, and also gets debuffed, guys. So that's a nice little part of this one. Doesn't have any damage to it, but it has a nice little amount of debuff. So you would pull everything, and then your mines would do more damage. So you pull everything into the mines, and then they go boom. So, this is the kit module we use on our DPS record runs for ground instead of Anchor of Grethor, because Anchor of Grethor does dot damage, and if anyone knows, in record run situation, dot damage is never what you want, because you want overkill. What I mean is overkill is if you can hit something that has 100 health for 1,000, you're doing 10 times the amount of deep damage to that you would if you've done like dots, because if you do dots 10 10 10 10 10 10, you'll only do 100 damage. So the whole overkill in the current meta of DPS runs is the goal. You want to overkill things as hard as you can, because that's just how you get the bigger numbers. That's just the name of the game. And the last kit module I want to mention for just because of how good it is, it doesn't really suit this build for DPS runs, but on the day-to-day purposes, you could drop your agony field for ball lining, because ball lining is probably the best damage dealing kit module in the game, even without being buffed. It may not look like it does, but it creates 4 lightning balls that run around that do 100 electrical damage each that ignore shields, and it also takes the shields away. So it strips shields and does electrical damage that ignores the shields. So guys, it is really, I really couldn't state how much this kit module really does. It's incredible. I'm gonna move on to frames. So I use a Delta Expedition kit frame that it gives me 95k per 31 willpower, which really isn't giving me anything. 31 weapon proficiency, if it improves my weapon, and 5% crit chance. I basically use this for the 5% crit chance and the 95 kit performance. So kit performance and crit chance are our bigger stats. If you don't want to use this one, or you can't get quite the roll, you can use the Rising kit frame. So it's an event one. You can use from the Summer Store the Rising kit frame for 1,000 Lolo nuts. Guys, if you do buy this and you haven't heard of it before, you buy the kit frame. Before you upgrade it, you re-engineer it to K-Perf times 2. You upgrade it, and then if it's not already, you re-engineer it to K-Perf times 3, which will give you, I think it's 120-ish kit performance, which is the most in the game for the price. It's like 15 million EC, and you get the most kit performance from a kit frame that you can get. So next we're going to look at body and EV suit. Both is the Burnham's CQC, which comes from Discovery Legends Reputation. Burnham's CQC, guys. The reason you use this is because of the 10% crit chance and the 40% severity. It also gives 15% physical damage, which is like your melee and run speed. It's all good. And the defensive stats aren't too bad on it as well. But it's mostly you're getting big offensive numbers from it, and nothing else beats it, because as well with the Knuckle Shield, you don't need the defensive, because the Knuckle Shield has the immunity every 60 seconds. So guys, speaking of the Knuckle Shield, the Knuckle Temporal Operative Personal Shield, if you drop below 10% health or shields, you drop into Time Slip every 60 seconds, which is basically a cheap death every 60 seconds. This, alongside the weapon, it comes from a mission. It comes from Future Proof Arc, it comes from the mission The Temporal Front. We scroll down, and we get the shield, and we get the weapon, because that gives us the two-piece, which the two-piece, guys, if you don't know, is two-piece is 2% crit chance and 30% severity. But we don't actually use this weapon. We use our portable phaser cannon special issue, aka the Shax cannon. Guys, this is probably one of the hardest hitting and longest range in combination weapons in the game. So you've got things that hit a little harder, like the bullion cannon or a sniper that are a little longer. But the combination of hard hits and range, this is probably the best balance that we have in the game. Because it's got a good firing rate, which generally that's what you want to look for in ground weapons, is good firing rate, as long as well as a decent hit percentage, so like hit amount. You don't want to be doing like 10,000 hits per second for one. You want to hit for like, a few every, one or two every second or so, or whatever however you want to say it. But you want to have a decent firing rate, but you still want to hit pretty hard. So this one does that. It hits pretty hard and still fires at a decent clip. But this one, guys, comes from the Lobby store. So I'll come over here to my bank. I'll pull out my Lobby crystals, and I'll show you where it comes from. So we open up our ground gear tab, ground gear. We scroll down to portable phaser cannon special issue. This is it. And it costs you 50 Lobby, and it'd be, I think, 40 on a sale. So I'm going to put my Lobby back. And we're going to move on to our devices. Guys, so I think I mentioned it in the section before, but the best race for any ground DPS is Jemadar Vanguards. And standard Jemadars are very good because you all get Catch a Cell White. Catch a Cell White, consumed by a Jemadar, 10% damage, 20% hit points, and 25% run speed. That, as well as improved Shroud. So Shroud, guys, is a Jemadar ability. 300% bonus damage on your next attack. It's similar to Ambush, but Jemadars can run Ambush and Shroud. So you can have like an 800% increase to like a Mine attack or something, which is just insane. If you get like a Mine boosted by Shroud and Ambush, if you're on like attack with like a Tetron Mine, and then like a big crit for like a 500% crit severity crit if you're all nannied up, and you can hit for like 50, 60k or even more on a Mine attack, and it's just incredible amounts of damage. Next is the gambling device. I'm sure most of us know about the gambling device, but those who don't, is a Lobby or auction house or exchange device. And on a good roll for 1 hour, 10% crit chance, 10% severity, and if not, you get the -10 crit, -10 severity for 1 minute. But guys, I'll show you here. We hit the button, we roll, we win. That means +10 crit chance, +10 severity, like that. And we'll come to here. We're going to type in our gambling device. There are 8 million on the exchange. So for what it gives you, it's totally worth it. For 8 million, there's no better device or tribble out there. There is the IIDC tribble that you can get up to 12.5% if the entire team is using it. But in a pug situation, you're not likely to see 5 people running that tribble. So it's good to pick up a gambling device. Next is our large kit overboosters. So guys, if you don't know, these, when you use them, it reduces your kit module's CD by 37.5. So say we hit this, I'm gonna let it run out its duration, so another few seconds. 2, 1, and it should be on cooldown now. And we hit that, and after a second or so, it should give me back, boom. See how it got back about 6 seconds or 5 seconds? That was my large kit overbooster kicking in. But guys, as well, there's a two-parter for this one. If you have a biochemist, so you see here, 50% cooldown reduction. This used to have, I think it's a 20-second cooldown. See, look, they're back up already. So as you're spamming your kit frames, you also hit these with the DOF, the biochemist, for the cooldown reduction on your kits, or your batteries, and you basically don't need like MUDs or anything else for cooldown reduction. The batteries handle that if you don't mind stocking up on them. And last but not least, for my like day-to-day use, I carry Elite Power Cell anti-proton carry waves. So guys, this one's a little bit, I'd say, a bit more unknown because I didn't know about this till about a year ago, until I started running like DPS ground runs. Is 30% severity for 5-minute bonus. So this comes from our Omega rep, but it comes from the store. Okay, so come down here. We come down to store, we come to consumables, second from the bottom, Elite Power Cell Anti-Proton Carry Wave for 50 DL or 42 with the dilithium discount from my fleet. And sorry, it's fairly cheap. It's not, I think eventually if you're sitting here spamming them, you'd run, it costs you a bit, but you don't spam them. If you're going to do something hard, you activate one and you gain more crit severity. The tooltip's a little bugged on them, but when you go in, you actually get the bonus. But yeah, guys, that is our main page. As for skills, pretty I won't say self-explanatory, but the stock standard. We run Temporal Operative Primary because of the plus 50 kit performance skill it gives. So guys, if you didn't know, kit performance is basically your main stat. More kit performance, more kit damage, more overall damage. And Commando. Sorry, Commando is 10 bonus weapon and melee damage. As well as if you're crouching, you get more crit chance. If you're crouching, you get more healing. If you're sprinting, you get bonus melee damage. Basically, all good ground stuff because this is a ground specialization. And you got your 20% cooldown reduction for all kit modules. You get your more damage, more health, damage resistance, and health. You got your shield damage, shield health, and so on. Next, we're going to go to traits. So, guys, there is a few ways you could run this. Like for burst damage, you would run Adrenal Release, but for your day-to-day content, I'd run it like this. I'd run Bombardier for our extra kinetic damage, which means our mines. I'd run Shadow of the Black Mountain for the plus 30 kit performance, whereas, guys, there's a little bit of I wouldn't say a hidden part on this. If every single member of the team is running this, you get up to 150k perf. So, guys, this is like a stacking for the team, so it's really nice. We run Technophile. So, sorry, I should note, this is from the lockbox. So, it'd probably be a few million EC. This one's expensive because it's from Lobby. This is Shadow of the Black Mountain from the Lobby store. Technophile, 100k perf every 8 for improves all kit modules for 8 seconds on a 24-second cooldown. So, that's a 33% uptime. Technophile comes from R&D, so gets the trait from the kit module section once you get to level 15, because you see I don't have ground weapons because I think that one's about it's armor pen on weapons. This is from kits and modules research school. I'm using Field Technician, which is a stock standard trait. I'm using Hive Mind, which is a lockbox trait, so it's probably anywhere from 5 to 10 million EC. I'm using is it Viscous or is it Vicious? Vicious, probably. I'm being a stupid Australian. I'm using Serenity. I'm using Space Explorer as a great gig. I'm using upgraded gear, and I'm using Gone Before Security Arrives. The guys, sorry, I didn't go over the last few. This is 50 kit readiness. So kit readiness means kit cooldown reduction. I'm using Hive Mind, which is 2% bonus all damage per teammate in the group. So it's 10% bonus all damage if every single teammate is using. Oh, it's doubled. So I actually don't know what that would work out to be, guys. If you're a mathematician or have the number, you can leave it down below. But all I know is it's good damage if everybody's using it. For every 6 seconds in combat, up to 5 stacks, you get. So 5 by that is 7.5% bonus damage and 30 severity. So guys, 30 severity is 30 basically bonus damage and 7.5% bonus damage. So you get 7.5% bonus damage. It's nice and good. Serenity, 15% health regen, 15 kit performance. Kit performance being our main stat. Into our damage, into everything else. Space Explorer is a great gig. These are all lockbox trait, guys. I'm sorry. My voice is going. I'm a bit tired, so I'm going back and forth. This is why it's recording number 2, and this is a lot better than the first one, guys. I can promise you that. Kit performance equal to 20% of kit readiness, so we're getting 30% kit performance and 35 kit readiness is so more damage from our kits and more cooldown for our kits, guys. Upgraded gear, every kill gets us 2.5 kit performance on up to 50 and resets on map move or being defeated. So guys, so if say you're doing, you know, bug hunt or you're doing colony sims, like where you got a bit more, you're gonna kill maybe 25 things. This is great because it gives you 50 k perf, and not much else is gonna give you that much value. And one that's probably a little less known, and I really like for moments where you're in and out of combat, go on before security arrives for cooldown reduction and run speed. So guys, when you say you drop combat, you get 20% run speed and recharge to kit modules and captain abilities. So, you know, say this is on cooldown, you're not going to use batteries, and you're not going to use like a Mud's time device. This can be a nice little way of cooling down your kits. And I think that'll be it for today, guys. Gonna next bring up in the next few days, maybe week. I'm not 100% sure. We will talk about tax. We will talk about size, and maybe we'll talk about ground races and a few other things. But guys, if you liked this video, please leave a like, hit that thumbs up button, comment down below, and please guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you're new, it really does help me out. I'm trying to aim for the 1K goal, you know, at some point. It'd be really good to hit. And we have a community, I want to say community goal, we have a channel goal. Is I'll leave that for a surprise. It's in a community post. If you do subscribe to the channel, you can go and have a look and enjoy, guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.